Hi and welcome back. We are covering Module 6 of AWS Academy Cloud Architecting. In this guided lab, we'll be working with Amazon Relational Database Services, which we call as Amazon RDS. The goal of this lab is to help you understand how to set up, configure, and connect a managed relational database in AWS Cloud. We'll walk through by creating a RDS instance, exploring and configuring the options like engine type, instance class, and storage. And then we'll learn how RDS simplifies the database administration by handling tasks such as backups, patching, and availability. By the end of the lab, you'll have hands-on experience in deploying a fully managed database and connecting to an application, an essential step in building scalable and cloud-native architectures. So they are talking about the same thing over here. Traditionally, we're creating a database with a complex process, so it would require either database administrator or a system administrator. In the cloud, you can simply the process by using RDS or Amazon RDS. After completing this lab, we'll have the setup. For example, we'll have the instance, which is EC2, and in the same availability zone, we'll create a private subnet with an IP address, and we'll have an Amazon RDS instance in this one. Then we'll have an availability zone where we'll have a public subnet and a private subnet. The duration of this lab is 20 minutes and AWS service restrictions are there. So we'll start by accessing the management console, just like anything, or every week we'll just connect to our web console, and then task one would be creating an Amazon RDS database. In this one, we'll be creating a MySQL database in a virtual private cloud, which we call as VPC. MySQL and is an open source relational database, and they are giving you certain instructions on this one. Now, as you can see that first of all, we'll be creating a database over here. Then we'll select an engine as MySQL, and we'll be following the instructions over here. So step by step, we'll copy the names of the instances that they have informed us over here about the identifier names, master username, as well as the master password. So like every time we'll create a notepad file and we'll copy all these important details on that one, and then we'll go to our actual console to work on it. So first of all, we'll go on search and type RDS over here. You'll see Aurora RDS. You'll click on this one. Then go to left hand side and click on databases. Then click on create database, and here we'll select MySQL. Then we'll scroll down in templates, we'll select dev test. Then under availability and durability, we'll select single DB instance. So if you can see in the manual, that's what they're talking about. Select a MySQL database, select the template as dev test, and then select single database instance. We did that. And now we are going to copy these details like instance identifier, master username, master password, and rest of the other details. So as we copied the name under settings, we'll be pasting the name over here. And the name was inventory database. Under the master username, we'll keep it as admin, and under credentials management, we'll select as self-managed. So we finished up to this point where it's asking for self-managed. Then we'll have to create a master password as lab password and confirm the password again. So we pasted the same password over here. Then go to instance configuration. Here we'll select burst table classes. We'll not make any changes up here, but under the storage, we will select general purpose SSD GP2. And we'll change the allocated storage to 20 gigabyte. Then you'll expand the additional storage configuration, and we'll disable enable storage auto scaling. Then we'll scroll down to connectivity. So here we are not changing anything here, but we'll select lab for VPC. Again, we are not making any changes up here, but under existing VPC security group, I'll select your DBSG and we'll uncheck the default one. So since it's a guided lab, we are just following the instructions up here. So we performed all these operations. We changed it to 20, then we selected the virtual private group on this one. Then we selected the existing VPC security group and we selected DBSG over here. And now we are going under monitoring, where we'll be enabling the enhanced monitoring options, etc. So for that, we'll scroll down under monitoring to this section and we'll enable enhanced monitoring. Then I'll scroll down again, and here under additional configuration, I'll have to paste the initial database name, and you'll find the instructions for that in instruction manual. And here they are talking about copy inventory from here and paste it for initial database name. So we'll paste it here. Then we'll simply scroll down towards the end of the page. We are not making any changes over here, and simply click create database. It would show you this message. You can ignore it and click close, and you can see that your database is appearing here now, which is inventory database, and it's creating the database. So it would take some time. So we'll pause and then we'll resume. So it's still working on it. If you want to see the details on it, click on this one. So it would open another page where you can see the VPC security group, its networking details, and rest of the other things. So we have finished up to this part. Now we are starting the task 2, configuring the web application and communication with the database instance. So this lab would automatically deploy an EC2 instance with a running web application. You must see the IP address of this instance. So in order to get the details for that, we'll click on AWS details and copy the URL from here, which they are showing, your public IP address. So then we'll paste the address in our browser and you'll see an interface something similar to this one. And as you can see that it's asking to configure the settings to connect to the database. Next they are saying click on settings, and we'll have to first retrieve the database endpoint and then return to AWS Management Console. And from the services, we'll be performing these operations where we can see a inventory database over there. So as they are saying, you can click on settings here, but we'll have to wait till the database is fully functional and deployed. And as you can see, it has finally displayed a message that successfully you have created the database, which is inventory.database. So once that's done, we'll copy the inventory database details of endpoint from here, and we'll go to the website and paste the endpoint over here. After that, they're saying to provide these details, so we'll copy it again and paste it on our website. So the details will be the database name, as we did earlier, was inventory, then the username was admin, we'll paste admin here, and then the password was lab password. Once that's done, just hit save. And as you can see the details of the store, items, and quantity. Now just to test that if this database is working or not, we can add some more details to this one. For example, test 1. Item could be anything, for example, fruits, and quantity could be 10. And add another entry over here. For example, store is Arizona, and we can enter the items as pens, and the quantity should be 100, and just press submit. And you can see that you have these details here. If you want, you can click on delete and delete these entries also and recreate more items. So it is actually writing to your database. Further, if you want to modify any of the records, you can click on this one and you can make the modifications and press submit. You can see that it's actually reading the data from the database. So that was the lab for today. You can see that it's saving the details in the secret manager, and then we are able to manage the data in the database. Once that's done, just hit submit and it would save your result on the grade sheet. That's it for today. Thank you very much.